You know, something I've realized over the last few years while trading is if a strategy takes 20 minutes to explain, probably too complicated. And the funny thing is, traders that consistently make money ain't doing nothing crazy. There's no secret to what they're doing. They're just doing the same simple thing over and over again. Honestly, simplifying my strategy made me much more profitable. And I think a lot of people are overcomplicating the game. When I first started trading, I genuinely thought the more complicated my charts looked, the smarter I was. I had every single indicator I could think of, and I was drawing every SMC, ICT concept. My chart looked like a Christmas tree, and somehow every single thing on the chart was telling me something different. So I had no idea whether I was buying or selling. Looking back, problem wasn't that I needed a better strategy. I actually had too much of a strategy. These days, my process is completely different. I don't need 10 confirmations or 50 indicators. I have just a simple set of rules that I follow each and every day. If everything lines up, I take the trade. If it doesn't, I leave it alone. No guessing, no forcing entries because I've been waiting all morning, and definitely not changing my entire strategy because I watched a YouTube video the night before. That's probably the biggest difference. My strategy is simple, repeatable, and consistent. I think one of the biggest mistakes traders make is consistently looking for something better. You hit a losing streak and you start thinking, oh, my strategy doesn't work. So what do? You start strategy hopping, jumping from one strategy to another. Then 6 months later, you've tested 10 different strategies, but you haven't actually mastered one. The reality is you don't need all these strategies. You just need one that fits you, that you know in and out. Okay, think about professional athletes. They don't wake up every morning inventing new techniques. What they do is they drill the same fundamentals over and over again that creates confidence. Trading is no different. Every time you execute the same setup properly, you're collecting data, you're building trust in your own process, you're becoming more disciplined. And over time, that's where consistently actually comes from. If someone asks me what is the best trading strategy, I would say it's one that's simple enough for you to follow consistently and repeatable enough that you can execute it without letting your emotions take over. It doesn't have to have a high win rate. It just has to have an edge. And most importantly, you actually have to stick to it. Now, talking of sticking to the process, let me show you a trade I took on US30. Okay, here's a trade that I took on US30 using this simple strategy. So as you can see, the structure was bearish until this point where we actually started going up, and it gave us this market structure shift at this point. The area I'm interested in is here, is around this area. So what we can see is we swept liquidity in this consolidation. I know it's not quite clear, so one thing that I normally do is I use the path tool to actually draw out the path. So we just started from here. So we can see we went up, then we went down, creating this low, then we went up, creating this high, then we went down, creating this low, and then we went up again, creating this high, and then down, creating this low before we got this impulsive move. So now what you can do is just drag this to the side, and you can clearly see that at this point here, we swept this liquidity. So we can actually mark out our liquidity sweep from this point here to there. Let's do it on the path tool here. So let's just add it there so we can see this is our liquidity sweep. And after the liquidity sweep, we get that impulsive move, and the structure that I'm looking at is this high here, which is the highest point, and that would be our break of structure here. So I'll just mark that out as break of structure. And then now the next thing we need to see within this impulsive moves is fair value gaps, and there's a few in this one. So there's one here which is quite small, And then we've got this big one just above it. I'll just mark that out, fair value gap. And now that we have these three confluences, our liquidity sweep, break of structure, fair value gap, we can now mark out the order block. And in a bullish scenario, the order block is the last bearish candle before the impulsive move. So this is our order block. Now, final confluence would be, is this order block in the extreme zone of that discount range since we're taking a buy? And as you can see, the order block falls nicely into that 75% of my Fibonacci. Let me just take this off. Oops, deleted the fib as well. Let me just delete this again. Okay, yeah. So now I can actually place my trade. So I'll be entering at the 75%. My stop would be at the low, and my take profit would be at the high of the range. And as you can see, it gives me a 3R risk to reward. And as you can see, I'm on FX replay. So I'm actually going to place the trade as if I was actually trading in the live markets. So there we go. I'm risking 1,000 to make 3,000 back on this 100K account. Let me save that. And now let's play price forward to see what happens. Okay, so at this point we've been tapped in, then straight away price is reversed back and straight to our take profit. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is this: the goal isn't to find more strategies. The goal is to master one strategy so well that executing it becomes second nature. The simpler the process, the easier it is to stay disciplined and to manage your risk and repeating it consistently over the long run. If you want to learn this exact order block framework that I use, the same simple, repeatable process I base around my trading, I've put everything together in my order blocks simplified ebook. It breaks the concepts down in a practical, easy way to follow and focuses on clarity instead of complicity. You will find the link to this ebook in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, because every week I'll be sharing practical trading content designed to help you trade with confidence through simplicity and consistency. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.